احنا 25 اذار بعتبره خط احمر، نحن ما حدا يلعب معه.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on FutureTV. I'm Linda Tamim and these are today's top stories. Majid al-Majid, a senior commander of an al-Qaeda-linked armed group, dies days after he was taken in by Lebanese armed forces. A historic library in Tripoli is torched, damaging thousands of books and manuscripts. And singer-songwriter Anthony Tuma talks about his upcoming album and Lebanon in an exclusive interview. Majid al-Majid, a senior commander of an al-Qaeda-linked armed group, which has killed 23 people in a November bomb blast targeting the Iranian embassy in Beirut, has died days after he was taken in by Lebanese armed forces. The Lebanese army and judicial sources say al-Majid, a Saudi citizen who was the senior leader of the Abdullah Azzam brigades, died after suffering kidney failure. The man believed to be responsible for attacks across the Middle East before focusing on civil war-torn Syria was held at an undisclosed place in Lebanon. He was one of the 85 most wanted individuals in his native Saudi Arabia. A historic library in the northern city of Tripoli was torched, damaging thousands of books and manuscripts. Last night, civil defense teams struggled to put out the flames, which engulfed the bookstore owned by Father Ibrahim Srouj in the old Sirai neighborhood in the city, turning one of Lebanon's most renowned libraries into rubble. A security source says unknown assailants torched El Saih Library, destroying two-thirds of some 80,000 books and manuscripts housed there. Former head of the Internal Security Forces, Ash-Shafifi, says the attack was a result of rumors that Srouj had published a study on the internet insulting Prophet Muhammad. Former Prime Minister Fouad Sanyura also condemned the attack, saying the perpetrators only served Lebanon's enemies. Coming up next, making his debut on Future Television, singer-songwriter Anthony Tuma talks music and more. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Lebanon is going through a difficult time, but there are figures that prove that no matter how tough the going gets, talent shines through. And today's guest is a perfect example of that. Our first guest of 2014 is singer-songwriter Anthony Tuma. He appeared on stage during season 2 of The Voice in France and blew all the judges away with his rendition of Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. He made it to the semifinals and last September got his record deal with Universal France Polydor. Here's a clip of his latest.
Viens passer un petit quart d'heure avec moi. On peut prendre un café, parler, traîner. On pourrait même en rester là. Je ne peux pas t'expliquer, je sais que je ne connais pas grand-chose de toi. Mais je pense que t'es faite pour moi. Je le sais, tu es faite pour moi. Parfaite pour moi.
That was his latest single, Si tu n'as rien à faire. Welcome, Anthony. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. That was cool.
Thank you for being here. I want to start with how it all started for you. What inspired you to get into music?
Well, I live in a family that's full of music. My mother plays guitar and sings since I was just a little kid. And since I was 4, I used to try to play along with my mother on the guitar. And I grew in that family full of music. And then I started singing in school. And from there, every opportunity I had to be on stage, I just took it. Because I felt like I needed to be on stage, I needed to sing. And from there, it just kept going till today.
You made it to The Voice. And it's so rare for a Lebanese talent to make it on a show like that, with that magnitude, and make it as far as the semifinals. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And what did it feel like for you, being a Lebanese citizen, but being in France and singing to a whole different audience?
It was a challenge. It was really a challenge. Before I went there, I was really afraid of how am I going to be able to live with all that, to cope with the fact that I'm away from my parents, away from the family, away from my friends. And I had to be in a country that doesn't know me at all and sing in front of people that have never heard me sing before, and the level there is so high in that kind of singing, pop singing, and it was great. It felt great, I had a lot of pressure because I had left everything to be there. So if I got eliminated, I would have done all that for nothing. So
But you didn't do all that for
no,
nothing.
thankfully.
And 7 months later, when you look back, what do you
Yes.
take away from it?
I learned so many things, not just on the musical level, also on the human level. I met a lot of great people. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the music industry, but a lot about myself
What
too.
was the best part of it?
The best part of it was being able to sing to that many people and see them smiling in the crowd. That was amazing. The tour after the show was amazing. You could see everyone was having a good time, and that felt amazing.
Your next step going into 2014, your first guest of this year, is an upcoming album. And I
Yes.
know that you also write a lot of your songs. So
Yes.
what inspires you, and what inspired you for this specific album?
Well, usually I get inspired, like not intentionally. I'm just sitting there playing some music, and I think of something that I want to talk about, and I do it. Most of the time it's about love, and sometimes about sad things that I've either experienced or I know someone that has experienced it. So I try to put myself in their shoe and try to talk as if I was them, because I really think that's what music is about.
How important is songwriting?
I think songwriting is very important. I think it's a big plus, especially today in 2014. And I think it allows me to... Nobody knows me and my voice as much as I know myself. So I think that's a perfect combination.
Of both. Can you tell me a little bit about the upcoming album, the name, and when is it due?
I can't reveal the name yet,
Okay.
but I can say that it's due April or May from this year.
Of this year?
Yes.
Okay, and there's nothing you can tell us about it?
It's full of a lot of styles. It's not just one style throughout the whole album. There's really a song for every kind of person.
Can you define your style? Like, when somebody says Anthony Touma,
Yes.
what do you want to be known as?
It's pop funk. It's actually pop with the influence of funk. That's you can hear it from a mile away.
Okay, so that would be you. I know you're also taking part of One Lebanon, which was
Yes.
organized by singer-songwriter as well, Tanya Cassis.
Yes.
And what does that mean to you? And tell me a little bit about that project.
It means so much to me, especially now in that time. I need to know that there's still hope for Lebanon and for the youth in Lebanon. That's why I'm taking part of this event as well.
Because to inspire the youth of Lebanon,
Yes,
and to make sure
that they know that we have a place here and there are still a lot of things to do here, and we are the future of this country.
And you represent a lot of young people who look up to you, who inspire you. What kind of
Thank
message
you.
do you want to convey to them?
I just want to say never give up and just keep pushing forward, because that's what will take you as far as you can go.
Okay. I remember when we were talking, and everybody knows this, you are inspired by Michael Jackson.
True.
And in an email in our communications, he said, well, I'm so impressed with Michael Jackson, I'm so influenced that I could even have a trivia. So I have a trivia for you today, and I want to see how good are you and how good is your knowledge of Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question 1.
Yes.
In what year was Michael Jackson born? Is it A, 1949, B, 65, C, 1958, or D, 1971?
C, 58.
Okay, that is correct. Question 2. What was Michael Jackson's first solo album? Is it A, Thriller, B, Off the Wall, C, Got to Be There, or D, Music and Me?
I would say Off the Wall.
No, it was actually Got to Be There, which was released in 1972. It had the hits
Okay.
like Rockin' Robin and
Okay.
Got to Be There. Okay. Michael Jackson, third question. He had 3 famously named children. Which
Yes.
one is not one of them? Is it A, Prince Michael Joseph Jackson Jr.,
It's one.
B, Princess Michael Jackson,
No.
C, Paris Michael Catherine Jackson, or D, Blanket?
Princess something.
Okay, that's correct, actually. Pretty Young Thing was a single from
Yes.
which album? Is it A, Bad, B, Destiny, C, Invincible, or D, Thriller?
Thriller.
Yeah, that is correct. Which one of the following songs did not have 2 versions of a music video? Is it A, Man in the Mirror, B, Stranger in Moscow, C, Will You Be There, or D, They Don't Care About Us?
Does not have?
Yeah, 2 music videos.
What was C?
Will You Be There?
I think that's the one.
No, it's Stranger in Moscow, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will You Be There had 2 versions. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Okay. All right. Last question. Michael Jackson once caught his hair on fire in a commercial of what product? Is it A, Pepsi, B, Coca-Cola, C, Budweiser, or D, Almaza?
Almaza. No, I'm kidding.
No, not really.
I think, I don't know.
It was Pepsi.
Pepsi?
Yeah, he caught his hair on fire
Thank
during
you.
Pepsi. Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's not too
How
bad.
much? What's my grade? Or you don't know?
I think you got like 3,
More than
right?
half?
And like, no, I'm kidding. That was fun because we wanted people to know. I know you're very inspired by Michael Jackson. You sang the song. And when you were 4 years old, you tried to sing You Are Not Alone. Am I correct?
Yes. That was really funny because I didn't know the lyrics and I didn't know what I was saying. And the funny part was that every time I stopped singing and my dad would go like, Anthony, are you done? And I'm like, I'm not Anthony, I'm Michael. And every time he called me Anthony, I'm like, no, Michael. And
Did you
so
know when you were auditioning to pick a song for The Voice 2, did you know you were going to pick a Michael Jackson song?
No, actually, when I auditioned the first time, I sang a Michael Jackson song. It wasn't Billie Jean, it was Dirty Diana. And then when we went to pick a song for the blind auditions, I played a lot of songs, about 8 or 9 songs, and they had to pick one of them. And the whole time I kept saying, I want to play Billie Jean, and they're like, no, Billie Jean, everybody knows Billie Jean. I'm like, but you don't know it the way I do it. And they're like, but it couldn't be that different. I just insisted, and then they heard it, and like, we're going to do Billie Jean. I'm like, you think?
Okay, is that how it worked? Speaking of France and Billie Jean, we promised the French fans, and we promised all fans watching us today, that you would give them un petit moment spécial pour les fans.
Yeah.
So, is there like a little line you can sing for us, or something of the sort?
Je peux chanter le refrain et dire Pada pada pa pa pa, je sais vous êtes faite pour moi. Pada pada pa pa pa, parfait pour moi.
Okay. Wow, that was Anthony Tuma serenading us here on Future Television.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here today. Linda, couldn't you be serenaded with Anthony Tuma for the rest of your days?
You bet I could. And on this note, cheerful note, we end our bulletin for today. Now let me remind you of our top stories. Majid al-Majid, a senior commander of an al-Qaeda-linked armed group, dies days after he was taken in by Lebanese armed forces. A historic library in Tripoli is torched, damaging thousands of books and manuscripts. Finally, singer and songwriter Anthony Tuma talks about his upcoming album in Lebanon in an interview exclusive. That's it from Yumna Naufal, me, and Anthony Tuma as well. We'll be back again tomorrow, without Anthony Tuma definitely, with more updates, so make sure you tune in.
نحن بحاجة إلى حكومة مسؤولة وفاعلة.
في عندنا 25 أذار بعتبره خط أحمر، نحن ما حدا يلعب معنا.